Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. This is the whenever. The Thoughts from the Prairie. What are we calling it? Thoughts from the Pasture. That's what it is. So I'm here with Naomi tonight. It's been a long week. We haven't done a whole video in a whole week.
Well.
So last Friday, we'll go back to last week. Last Friday we had a friend over with her two of her three kids. And the kids made some incredible paper airplanes that they flew really, really far. And the kids had fun with that. So thank you for coming. I haven't asked her about putting her name on the video. Ugh. Then, what did we do last Saturday?
We packed, we rested so we could go.
That's right. We rested. I woke up Saturday morning not feeling great, just kind of under the weather. And we were going to go that afternoon to Ellsworth, Sorrento. Found out Saturday that we had been exposed to sickness. And what?
Only in the COVID era, you're like, we realized we were exposed.
To the thing.
And you just,
Anyway.
For what? Being a fraud?
But then nobody else got sick. But then we have been exposed to other sick people since then. But the person we were exposed to the first time was just like an outside contact. So then other stuff. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So we were going to go to Ellsworth on Saturday. We decided to wait an extra day, see if anyone got sick. But nobody else got sick. I just had not been sleeping well because we had people not sleeping well. That's life in our house. But I didn't realize how well I have been sleeping until a couple nights of not sleeping well. Because Josiah has been having an incredibly good time seizure-wise that we are getting mostly good night sleeps every night. We have not had a big seizure in multiple, like he had one this weekend, but just that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even Sunday night, I guess.
Maybe.
He had a big seizure. So I think we've had one this week, maybe two. We really haven't had much for seizures. So that's been really good.
So you drove up to Hancock.
Oh yeah, we stayed home Saturday night. Sunday we drove up to Hancock.
Left at about 7 in the morning because church on time. And then
You can tell about church stuff.
yeah, Matt preached on Revelation 14, I believe. But he was mostly talking about the need to evangelize and live our lives as Christians, not just talking about Christian things, but actually living in the manner that Christ did.
Yes. It was a very good message. So we went to a very small church. We doubled the crowd. But we enjoy going up there. We enjoy the people there. And got to see them for a little bit. And then we went over to Mammy's house. Mammy is Mark's mom. Visited her for a little bit. And then we...
Oh, okay, we went to Cherryfield to see my friend, Abby. We went to see Abby, and we had a good time.
And you bought a cricket from her. Cricut.
Oh, yeah.
Cricut, whatever you want to call it. And we went to the playground with her because we wanted somewhere where the kids could run around. And we pulled onto the playground and it started pouring.
So we hid in the car. And then we got out. And then we hid in the car again.
It rained and didn't, and did and didn't, like 4 times.
Yeah.
And then we found baseball dugouts, so we just hid in the dugouts.
Yeah. But we had fun. The kids had fun running around. And while they were talking, we were walking around the building and they had like a little library. And we got a couple books for the kids. So we like that idea of the little library. We're thinking about getting some books that we could put in a little library if we found one. So if you have any suggestions for that, let us know. So then that was Sunday. Monday, did we do anything Sunday night? Did we go see Grampy Sunday night? No. No. Monday morning we got up. We went to see Grampy.
We went to see Grampy and Bump, and then...
So Grampy is Mark's dad, and Bump's his wife.
And then our friends from Princeton came down to visit us and spent most of the day with us. So that was a lot of fun. We walked around downtown Sorrento, went into the library. At least it used to be a public library. I didn't see many books, so I don't know if it still is, but it's a cool building anyway.
It's on the National Historical Register, National Register of Historic Buildings, whatever it is.
We should get the video of singing on there. It wasn't the best quality, but audio by any means.
But we were singing in there with their family, which was really fun. And we have looked at that building, looked through the windows multiple times, but the building's never been unlocked when we've been there. So that was really cool to go in there. And then the Episcopal Church, which is just a really cool building. We walked over there, and we had never been inside there, and that was open also. So that was really neat.
Then were you hung around the beach?
Yeah, we went to the beach. We spent a lot of time on the beach. The kids were throwing rocks, and there was like a little cave, not cave, but like a hollowed out tree that they had made like a little fort, and the girls were talking and the parents were talking. It was just a really good time. We also had spent some time at Mark's mom's house. She had never met them. So
And
she
you can
spent
leave
time.
messages on rocks for the people at the beach. You take a sharp rock and write on a different rock.
And so I had a really good time. And then that night we went to Grampy's also after they left. After our friends left, because they had to go make an errand do an errand on the way home, and then get home to do their farm tours.
2 hours away.
Yeah, 2 hours away. We went and saw Grampy again for a little while. Then we went back to Mammy's for the night. I don't even remember what happened. These guys went in both nights.
Was it the night of the ambulance?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
No, maybe.
Maybe the night before. There was an ambulance
Something
call in the house across the street from Mammy. And someone reported that 2 little boys were wrestling, and one
One was like 12, one was like
Cracked
9,
open
and
or
somehow
something.
like he ripped open his brother's insides or something. I don't know. What
Something
Everyone's okay
happened.
though.
Yeah.
I think.
We don't know exactly what happened. Everybody left the scene okay. Headed to the hospital to get checked out. So anyway, I have not a stuffy nose. I have an itchy nose. I feel like I have allergies. But, so we left there Tuesday. Tuesday we got up. We went to Fraser Point, which is part of Acadia National Park, which is really, really beautiful. We then went to Grampy's and visited for a while. On the way back to Mammy's, we found a cool Town Landing boat launch place that we had never seen before, which was really pretty, and it's just like 2 miles from Mark's mom's house.
Another beautiful view of Acadia.
We visited with a friend and said goodbye to Mammy, and then we went to Bird's
Oh, I
Acre.
forgot. Yes, a friend Linda stopped by Mammy's house twice while we were there. It was Mark's Sunday school teacher when he was 3 years old. And so we got
We've
to talk
known
to
each
her.
other for some time.
We got to talk to her, and it was good to just talk about some old memories and stuff. And she's a really encouraging person because she always wants to talk about what God is doing or what God has done. She just reminds you to speak of the things of God. So it's good. So, yeah, then we
Goodbye,
visited.
went to Bird's Acre.
Mammy went to Bird's Acre. You want to talk about that?
Where the homestead was open. It's
So-
never been open before.
Yeah, there's a homestead. Cordelia Stanwood, I believe is
Yep.
her name. She lived in this house and wrote notes about all the animals and stuff she was seeing around there.
So if you don't know
So
who
they
Cordelia Stanwood is, she's an ornithologist, which is someone who studies birds. And she was the only woman, or the only person from Maine, I forget what fact she said. She had her picture hung in some building in Washington, D.C. for being some famous ornithologist.
I think it was the Library of
So-
Congress.
Yeah, maybe the
So,
Library of Congress.
they opened a bird sanctuary for injured or malprinted birds, so that couldn't
What is
survive
a
on their
now
own.
printed bird?
One that got too attached to humans and thinks it's a human.
Yeah. So a bird that was maybe born in captivity, or somebody rescued a bird from outside, and then it started
Rescued.
thinking it was a human and didn't want to be back in the wild again. What'd you say?
Rescued.
Yeah. So if
Leave
you
a
find a
bird.
bird, its mother will usually come back. So make sure it's safe. You can put it in like a little shoebox or something, but make sure its mama can get to it. So, anyway, so the homestead was cool because there was all kinds of old stuff. The house was built in like 1852 or something,
How old is that table?
like 1750s.
Old table.
So
It's still there.
we do not do enough to expect of our young men. I'm not saying they should do this at this age necessarily.
Dude was 12.
He was 11.
11, sorry.
He was 11 when he went off to work on a boat and came back at 19 with wealth enough to buy 40 acres and build a house for his family. Then he went and he was like traveling and saw this girl that he wanted to marry and asked her father, and he said no, come back later. So 6 months later he came back and married in that lady's mom's living room. And that was Cordelia's dad. So anyway, it was neat. We enjoyed the house. There were cool things there. The coolest thing, I liked, they had this lamp over the dining room table, that when it could get pulled down, it was really squeaky because it needed to be coiled. But you could pull it down to be closer to the table or put it up to be further away from the table if you needed. Like, I've just been thinking about it because the girls have been sewing a lot recently. And then 2 nights ago, last night, our power went out and was out for a while. And so it just made me think like, oh, you would have been doing handicrafts of like sewing and stuff without power, and you would have had to be able to move your light closer to your work. But you wouldn't want to put your candle right there if you're working with fabric. It'd be a problem.
You can just pull it closer.
So Tuesday, we went to Birdsacre. We really enjoyed that. And then we came home and just hung out here. I don't think we did anything big.
Unpacked, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did we do yesterday?
Yesterday, we were here. Someone
I
went
don't
to
think we
Walmart.
did anything
Walmart.
yesterday.
Mark went to Walmart with Virginia
yeah.
at some point, and they grabbed
That
some
was
eggs and milk and
disorienting.
stuff. Mark got home, and Mark sometimes thinks that maybe he could handle a job. And then God put something in his way like Walmart. He realizes he can't. Because he got home.
wrecked my brain.
He got home and couldn't even do anything. We also found that if he tries to cross his eyes, it wrecks his brain too.
I think
You're
we
playing
did Bible
games
time yesterday, maybe.
We did do Bible time
But I think
yesterday.
that's about it.
No, we did some other stuff. We played outside for.
We also
Oh, it
listened-
was
rained.
raining. That was why.
Yeah.
We went outside in the morning.
Mhm.
We went outside in the morning to play, and then came in. So our day was like messed up on the times that we normally do stuff.
And then last night we listened to an excellent sermon that you can find on reformedfellowshipknoxville.org on the audio page.
Really, this isn't an ad. It's free. Just go watch. Go listen to it. It's great.
But it was a really good message on Colossians.
12 through 17.
Good time.
So it was a really good message. And yesterday, we also did other stuff yesterday. I just don't remember what. And then we have some more people feeling under the weather now. So today we had some fevers happen. Well, kind of overnight we had some fevers happen. So Abigail wasn't feeling well last night. She woke me up in the middle of the night with a sore throat.
This little sleeping child is very cute.
Uriah woke me up in the middle of the night because he had a bad dream. Malachi, for some reason, was awake in the middle of the night. Maybe because he wasn't feeling good or he didn't tell us, but he ended up sleeping on the floor next to the bed. There was just a lot of people keeping us awake last night. So then I woke up this morning thinking, haha, I'll get a nap today. Well, that didn't happen.
Not so.
Josiah had some behavior issues that we're trying to work on. We weren't sure before if they were related to medicine, but they're not. We're trying to figure out exactly what that was. But they do seem to coincide with full moons and the barometers dropping. Those two things. I made out a whole calendar today, writing down all the seizures he's had since April. And we were able to kind of look and see when he had clusters, which were around full moon time. I'm not putting like voodoo thoughts onto that, just for people who might be watching
Atmospheric
this.
pressure and actual magnetism.
So when the
Scientific
moon
things.
is close to us, there are higher tides. And when your body is made of lots and lots of water, your brain specifically made of lots and lots of water, those pulls on things can disorient you.
Especially if
So-
you have a messed up brain.
And he has a messed up brain. So it was just interesting as we put it all down today to see all of that. And then we did Bible the last couple days. We've done Exodus 14,
17.
well, 14, 15, 16,
16,
17
yeah.
are the last couple ones we've done. Goodbye. Oh, she's going to use the sewing machine. She came to close the door and I was wondering. So, before we talk about Bible, we can talk about Bible in just a second. Virginia's watching all the kids while we do this video because I told you people weren't feeling great. Mommy wants to be able to sleep tonight. So I, Mommy, am having a sleepover in the living room with all the little kids.
All the
So
little
that
sick, snotty people.
all the snotty people, so that if they wake up, they can easily get to me and they're not keeping the not as snotty bigger people awake. So Mark and Virginia and Naomi can all get a full night's sleep. And then if Mommy doesn't get a full night's sleep, I'll be satisfied to know they got a full night's sleep and they can take charge while I
Because it takes
sleep
3
tomorrow.
of us to replace her.
It's not what I was saying, but okay.
Yep.
It's true.
So,
And we don't pull that out. Totally.
but anyway, so we will talk about what we've been learning in Bible.
So today, I don't remember what we did yesterday, but today.
Well, remember it was the Red Sea parting.
Oh,
And then the next chapter was the singing. And then the next chapter was
manna.
manna. And then the next chapter was the hands.
Water
Yes,
rock.
the hands was Moses was told the people were complaining, so God
Again.
So
the people were
Moses-
complaining again.
This
Moses
time it was
said,
about
"Talk to
water."
the hand."
So Moses talks to God, and God says, "They should stop complaining." No, what he said was, "Go hit the rock, water will come out." And
Tell
then,
him to shut up.
and then Joshua went to fight with the Amalekites, and if Moses' hands weren't up, he didn't win. So Aaron and her had to put him on a rock and hold his hands up.
You forgot
So
her
what
name.
did we learn from that?
Aaron and her.
What did we learn from that?
About holding
Oh.
hands up.
Yeah.
About supporting
Supporting.
those around us that are in ministry.
Mm.
And
And do things even if they don't make sense.
Yeah.
If God tells you to.
But the holding people's hands up, like, not everyone's going to have the same job. Like, Moses couldn't take his hands down and Aaron go sit down and put his hands up. That didn't work. Moses' hands had to be up. And sometimes, let's say there's a missionary out in the fields of Cambodia. We have friends in Cambodia, and he is from Cambodia, and he can minister to the, He can minister to those people in a way that we can't, because being Americans, we don't understand their culture, we don't understand their belief system,
The language.
we don't understand their language. There's lots of things.
Problem.
And we probably can't get to Cambodia because we don't have any skills to give them other than the gospel, and sometimes they don't let you into countries for that. So anyway.
And we can't speak the gospel in their language.
So, Hip is very well established to be able to be a missionary over there. So he's the one who should be doing the work over there. Just like we like to support HeartCry, because they're going in and finding the Native people who are actually doing the work and equipping them better to do the work, but not going in and trying to take over their job. But we need the people who are going to get them the materials and get them the teaching. And we need people who are going to get them the money so that they can be spending their time doing the gospel. We need people to encourage them to be out doing the work and, just plodding along beside them over here, knowing that they're being supported and praying for them. I mean, that's the biggest thing we can do, is praying for God's word to go out, for his work to be done, and that these people would have the strength to endure through these times, even times where they might lose their lives for what they're doing. There was just a story today, that came through,
Yep.
about someone who was martyred for sharing the gospel. He was told that he had to renounce Christ, and
They burned
he
him
didn't.
alive.
And so they need people being behind them from afar. So, not saying that that gets us out of our duties of telling people around us about God, because we need to be doing that too. But coming alongside others, and how that's an important task. We were also just talking about how God works in mysterious ways sometimes. Like the Red Sea. Like, God could have picked them all up and dropped them on the other side. God could have miracled them an airplane that they didn't know how to fly to get over there. Like, there's lots of things that God could have done, but instead God was like, hey, waters, go apart. Okay, you guys all just walk through. Okay, waters, come back together. We're going to drown these people.
I will get glory over the Egyptians. We learned
Oh.
that part.
You guys need water. Hit a rock. Water will come out. Like, just so you know, rocks don't hold water. That doesn't happen. And next time, I read ahead in the Bible a little bit. God's going to tell him to talk to the rock, and water's going to come out of it just by talking to it. So, God uses
Well, he didn't
unusual.
listen to God.
No, he goes and hits it.
I believe that water would have come out if he talked to it, but he decided to hit it instead.
God,
Stupid guys always want to hit stuff.
go kick the tires. What's that do? I have no idea. Kick the tires, though. God, doesn't use the ways that we think necessarily to accomplish his work. And so we need to be attentive to what God's telling us to do.
And we also did girls' Bible study today.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Girls' Bible study.
We did Bible study with some dear friends in Tennessee. We talked about Colossians 3:12-17, which was the sermon at Reformed Fellowship in Knoxville on Sunday. So it was a good study.
And our other friends were sick, so they weren't part of it.
No, they were Walmart.
I think somebody was sick, so they went to Walmart. Not sure how exactly how it went.
Yes, somehow they couldn't do the call. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm going to go do my sleepover with the little ones in the living room. We're working on a new schedule. I'll try to explain that in a couple days if it works. But today was the first real day of it, and one of our people was sick, and so I couldn't do the extra part that I was going to do as well. So we'll see how it goes after having it for a couple days. Anything else we needed to talk about on here? No. It's just been a really busy week. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna go try to get ourselves healthy because we have plans with friends this coming week that we'd like to do.
Oh, after I finish reading the book, I'll tell you why I'm still not a Paedo Baptist.
Oh, yes. A friend of ours gave us a book about paedobaptism. And Mark is reading it and doesn't agree with it. And I don't know why yet, because I haven't read it with him.
Currently unimpressed.
Yes, he's currently unimpressed. And yeah, anything else?
Change my mind.
Those Crispies.
Yes. If you have a good argument for covenant theology, let us know. Whether you link us to a book or an article or whatever, link below, because this dear friends of ours have gone to covenant theology. Like that's what they're
Gone off the rails.
and we
They're
don't
our
understand.
dear brothers and sisters.
We were-
Oh yes, we love them anyway.
We had them here a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, not that long ago.
Not that long ago, yeah.
And we really enjoy their company. We really enjoy everything, but we didn't have enough time to talk through all of this. So they gave us this book, which is their reasoning. But if you have more arguments for us, in a good way, we like to hear new things, right? So, I guess that's it. We'll see you guys next time on Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God. Bye.
Bye.